y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today I am going to show you just a quick little flip through of what my January daily journal looks like, and then give you a flip through of how I have set up February as well. Last month when I shared a flip through of my setup for January, several of you said that you would be interested in seeing me actually going through the stamping process and kind of how I selected the stamps and things like that. And that was fully what I intended to do. I was planning to do that soon after I got back from my long weekend crop, and that's when I got sick with COVID, and I'm still kind of dealing with that. So unfortunately, I apologize, I did not have the time to actually film the stamping process. I ended up doing it at about 2 a.m. one morning because I had already had to just jot down February's on a couple of sticky notes to transfer into here. And it was about to be February the 3rd, and I needed to go ahead and get this done. And so I just had to do it real quick. But I thought maybe another flip through and hopefully a promise of trying to get this done again in a actual process type video for next month will do okay under the circumstances. So I am using the square 8x8 Archer and Olive for my daily journal for 2022. This is a process that I have tried to adopt many times and have failed every time. I can get going for a few days at the time, maybe a couple of weeks, and then I just fall off and I don't stick with it. But I really felt like maybe approaching this from this manner with a notebook that I love, and having the days already stamped out, and having it be a little bit prettier to look at maybe would be more of an encouragement to stick with this every day. And so far it has. I love to sit down at the end of my day and spend just a few minutes jotting down things that have happened. Just kind of, a little overview of the day. So what you saw last month was how I had set up my title page and my January page, and then I just showed you the blank pages, and now you see all of these filled up pages. And look at that one, I kind of did like a monthly overview and just really fill that day up. And so I love seeing all of these words. They make me very happy to just flip through the pages and see them all there. And I know this is going to be something that I can treasure in time to come, when I can go back and just kind of glimpse at what was going on day to day. So for February, I went ahead and stamped out my month again. And again, I used the Awesome Alpha from Allie Edwards. I love this alphabet. I think it is just so fun and bold. And so it will be what I use every month to stamp out my monthly title. And then I have these sets from Heidi Swapp. She has one for every month. These were something that she did last year. I'm not sure if they're still available in her shop or not. I can try to check and link it below. But I decided what I would do is just use the little calendar page that's on every one of the stamp sets for each month, just to kind of fill in the space at the end, especially on those shorter months. So that's what I used. And for this page, I did go ahead and use scrapbook.com premium dye ink in black. I like that it is more of a filled in, bolder look. If I had used what I typically use, the Distress Ink Black Soot, with these thick, bold stamps like this, the more solid stamps, you don't get such a clean, crisp impression, especially because mine is needing to be replaced or re-inked. And so I did not want to try to just have that more splotchy look on this particular page. So I used my scrapbook.com ink, and I did go ahead and glue 2 pages back to back, because although with this Archer and Olive nice quality paper, it doesn't bleed through, the ink doesn't, but it does provide a little bit of ghosting or shadowing. I'm not sure which is the exact right term. I'm not up on the terminology that a lot of people in the bullet journal world use, but I do know that, you know, you could just kind of see a little faint bit of it behind there. So I glue it together. And I also like that it kind of gives you a thicker page for when you're flipping through. It kind of denotes the month starting with the thicker page. So that's what I did. And then for the next page, and I don't have anything earth-shattering over here. I don't know. I'm just covering up. So for this one, I had some new stamps from Carrie Bradford, and several of them are, I think I got maybe 4 sets. Whenever I see that she's doing some of her last call, not gonna restock again, sales, I try to pick up some that I've been eyeballing, and so I did pick up a few sets. This one is Day by Day XL, and I just love the fun scripty font of it. So that's what I used for my first week. And and you'll see I did go and try to use my black soot ink, but it was really, it's just dry. I've used it a lot and I need to get another one. So I end up going back to my scrapbook.com ink for the rest of the pages. But then for the numbers on this one, this is the Heidi Swapp Captions numbers. So that's what I used for these big tall numbers, and I thought it was fun to have the scripty font with just the big number behind it. And that one is in Worn Lipstick. And Distress Oxides are my favorite to use in notebooks, even the ones that have the nice quality pages, because they typically don't bleed or shadow as much, but yet you get some pretty crisp colors. And if you don't get a perfect impression, it's okay, because they're kind of designed that way, and it just seems to be, you know, okay. It's okay to be that way. So that was for this page. And then we get to the rest of the month of February. And so for this day, this was another new one, and they're so new I haven't even had a chance to put them in my stamp storage and make my own labels and all that kind of stuff. So but I will get that done shortly. So this one is just called Documented by Carrie Bradford, and I love that it had the months and the days of the week on it, as well as a few other stamps. It also has the abbreviation for week and then the word week, which would be very helpful for Project Life people who like to include week in there, and maybe you are always running out of those precious E's. So I used that one, and you'll see I did go back after this one and start to use my scrapbook.com black ink, and so I've got a little bit clearer impressions on those, and I will be either ordering a re-inker or a new black soot in the Distress Oxide. All right, so then for these numbers, I used the By the Well for God, His Birth Alpha, and chose these numbers. I like to choose, like in this one, since it was a full word and scripty, then I wanted to go with something that was bolder, and in this case also an abbreviation. I just kind of like to switch it up that way. It just makes sense in my brain, and it provides a lot of interest to me. And so since this is a very thick, bold stamp, I chose something that was fun and playful and thinner for my numbers. And that's even like if you're pairing fonts in a Word document or something like that, you still want to kind of follow those kind of rules where you're choosing something maybe that's blocky with something scripty, something that's capitalized with something that's lowercase. And so I kind of do the same thing with my stamps. And I know eventually I'll have to go back and reuse some of my stamps. I don't have enough different stamps for the whole year. But, you know, I want to try to go through and use as many of my stamp sets as I can and get plenty of use out of them. And then for the week of Valentine's Day, again, you'll notice I went back to where I have a full word on the stamp, and this time it's smaller the font is very thin. And so it, again, provides a lot of contrast even from one page to the next of what you're looking at. And this one is called Willow Time, another one from Carrie Bradford. And I paired it with one that I also used last month. I've used this stamp set a good bit on the first row of numbers up here. I haven't used it much down in the other numbers, but I did this week. And so this one is from Everyday Explorers, called Calendar Days. And oh, let me tell you, this one was Cracked Pistachio Distress Oxide. And I just kind of went through and just chose random colors. I did try to choose something that was, I didn't want to like a super bold bright red, but I chose Barn Door for this week because it is Valentine's Day, and I enjoy celebrating Valentine's Day. It kind of makes me happy. So I wanted it to be a little festive there. And then for the 21st through the 27th, I went back to an abbreviated month, abbreviated days of the week. And this one is a stamp set called Simple Times Large from Carrie Bradford. And so it's bigger. It's all lowercase instead of being all uppercase. So again, that contrast is there. Excuse me. And then I used the Double Digits Large from Carrie Bradford. This is the other new one that I purchased in the last order that I did. And so I put these down below and just kind of hooked them on to the tail end or the bottom end of the words. And for that one, I use Broken China. It's a very pretty blue color. And this one, the size is not very different, but if you think about numbers looking more uppercase against the lowercase letters, and then with them just being an outline versus the solid stamp, so again, there's a little bit of contrast there. And then we were back to the same situation with the 31st of January, where I had just one day at the end of the month on a Monday. And so I'm making use of the whole page, and I'll show you the numbers first since they're the biggest. They are Carrie Bradford Juniper numbers in jumbo size, and she does this quite often where she'll have maybe like small, medium, large, extra large, jumbo of the same font. So if you like larger stamps, you can just get the larger ones. If you like that font a whole lot and want to get it in a couple sizes, she has those available in that way. And for the 28, I'm having a little stamp avalanche over here. For the 28, I use Fossilized Amber. I think it looks really nice with my cover on my Archer and Olive journal this year, so that's what I chose with that one. And then for the Monday, I decided to stamp it straight up and down, again, just for some contrast. So we have this clean, simple, bold, big number 28. And I paired it with another By the Well for God stamp called Matthew's Alpha. And I just used the individual letters in this case to stamp them straight up and down. So that gave me all of the days that I will need for this month. And you'll see I have gone ahead and done the first 2 days. Today is the 3rd, so at the end of this evening, I will be sitting down to add that in. And then I'll just put March here and keep going. If I end up on this side of the page for next month, then I'll just flip it over and start April on the following page. Or if it ends up like this again, I don't mind just having, you know, February or March or whatever month be over here by itself. That doesn't bother me at all. So those are the products that I used. Let me go and grab a couple of these little sticker sets and I'll tell you about those. Hold on just a second. Okay, I also enjoy adding in some little stickers ahead of time when I'm setting up the month. I think it just gives it more interest and it's, you know, pretty to look at. It also fills in a little space if you don't have quite as much to say, so they serve a few purposes. And I have a couple of shops on Etsy that I really enjoy a lot. Probably my most favorite is Paper Minty Studio, and I'll try to make sure to remember to link both of these below. If I forget and you're interested, just send me a message if you can't find them, and I will I'll be sure to give you a link, but I'll try my best to remember. So some of them are on, I wouldn't really call them transparent. They're more translucent. They're not just a clear, sticker paper. They do have a little bit of an off-white sheen, but once you get them on the paper, you can't tell. And what I like to do is try to match my ink color. I didn't really have anything in this shade, so I just went with some other greens and tans and tried to do the best I could. And I'll typically pull from one sticker sheet for the whole week, so it's just very cohesive. And then another shop that I like, I believe this one might actually be from Germany. I'm not sure, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the shop because I know I would get it wrong. And I think all I have from this one is white. I'm not sure if she offers clear or not, but I love them as well. And I just enjoy going through. I keep them all in this bag that I got. It was a Sophia, what is her name? Vergara, maybe, the actress. It was her line, and somebody shared it, and I went and grabbed the last one I could find at a Walmart near me, like maybe it was before the pandemic, so 2 or 3 years ago. And I just keep different types of stickers inside. I think it was actually meant to be like a makeup case. So this is what I keep my stickers in. I just grab it down when I need it. And then I just enjoy going through and picking out something that matches with my ink color as best I can. And just, putting them on there. In this case, I made a little bit of kind of like a little scene at the bottom since I had the whole page, and that came all off of this one called Patio Living from the Paper Minty Studio. So that's how I do that. And I'm hoping maybe in the next couple of weeks to go ahead and plan to get this next month set up. And I promise I will do my best to do it as a process video so you can kind of see that in action. So thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it more than you will ever know. If you enjoyed the video, I would love a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate you doing that as well and becoming a part of my little YouTube family. I'd also love you to follow me over on Instagram, where I share lots of things that never make it over here to YouTube. And until I see you in the next video, take care of yourself. Do something good for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.